Welcome back to Building Together. We are continuing round 1 of our Modular Madness bracket with the 3rd seed, the Detective's Office, versus the 14th seed, the Bookshop. Autumn, what do you think about this matchup?
The Bookshop is so much more brighter than the Detective's Office. The interior is all so bright. The brown and the teal go nice together, and it's kind of the same color combination, blue and nougat. It looks blocky with the letters, but not entirely that blocky, but just the first level.
So the letters in owls are blocky like the pet shop letters?
Mm-hmm. The Bookshop, it's really nice on the house, how they have the address and they have the shingles on the roof. The actual Bookshop has lots of technique. And one of the books in the Bookshop is Moby Brick, like Moby Dick. And I like that. Mommy, what do you think?
Looking at the exterior of these two sets, I definitely am drawn to the Bookshop a little bit more, especially that little house to the next to it. There's that cute little winding staircase, the dormers on the top, the triangular shape over the door and windows, the bay window. I even like the color of the flowers below the bay window. So all of that I think is really cute. And then on the Bookshop itself, it's got that nice stone work around the doorway and the kind of curly shape around the windows in the top. On the detective's office itself, I think kind of has a kind of like a small town look to it. I don't think it's particularly attractive, but it is. I think it's well done for what it represents. I think Owl's Barbershop looks like a cute little storefront, and I like the blue and gray colors. I do think it's kind of odd that they have a fire escape in the front, but I think the alleyway underneath does look nice. On the interior, again with the Bookshop, I really like the upstairs spaces. The way the roof makes that angled ceiling inside, I think makes some really cozy spaces, and I think they've used the space well. The beds are really well done. The home throughout, I think, is nice. The downstairs of the house, I think, is well done as well. I like some of the little details, like the coat rack that has the umbrella and hat hanging on it, I think is cute. The bookstore, I feel like, is a little bit empty. There's not a ton of books in it. There's one bookshelf. So I think they maybe could have done a little bit better with that. I think some of the shops in the big Diagon Alley set did actually a better job with books than this particular store. But there are some books outside as well, so, it's not bad. On the detective's office, I don't really get super excited about the interior of this one. The barbershop is kind of cute, and I do like the pool table. I think that's nice. But the second floor where you have the actual detective's office, I'm not as taken with.
There's like a secret door at the back.
Yes, for the detective's office.
So just overall, I think I like the exterior of the Bookshop better, and some of the interior details as well. Colin?
I really like this matchup because I think you've got one set that's a little underrated and another set that's a little overrated. And when you take a look at them, they actually have a lot of similarities, right? You take a look at the detective's office, it's 2 buildings side by side. The Bookshop, 2 buildings side by side. And although those 2 buildings come apart for the Bookshop, I think they look good next to one another, especially with the way that they're designed, and they fit well together in a modular layout. So when comparing these 2 sets, I wanted to take a look a little bit at some of the similarities and see which ones maybe are a little bit better done. So for instance, they both have a tree outside. I really prefer the tree for the Bookshop as opposed to the tree in the pool hall. They both have a nougat-dominated building, but I would say that the pool hall with the nougat brick profiles as opposed to the birch books is a better exterior. I think that it's a little bit more interesting. The tan color works a little bit better than the nougat and gray of the birch books. On the flip side, I actually think the apartment for the Bookshop is better than the blue building in the detective shop that is the apartment and Al's barbershop. I like the barbershop, but I think the dormers and the bay window, as mentioned earlier, I think stand out along with that spiral stair or the little staircase at the front. I really love the pass-through on the detective's office. It reminds me a little bit of the greengrocer, although I don't think it's quite as effective as that, but it works really nicely, and I like some of the details that it allows for. In comparing the roofs, I really like the apartment of the Birch Books, how they do that angled roof. It looks really cool. I think that's the best roof of the 4 buildings, but I think the next best 2 are in the pool, the detective's office, so the pool hall, and then that apartment with Al's barbershop. When I look at the exterior of like the sidewalk stuff, I have to say I might have to give the nod to the newspaper dispenser in front of the pool hall as opposed to the little bookshelf in front of Birch Books. I think it's more creative and I think it has much better functionality. When I look at the interiors, I kind of agree with a lot of criticisms I've seen of Birch Books. As Julia mentioned, there are not a lot of bookshelves, not for a bookstore. And upstairs on the 3rd level, there's a bed and a chameleon. I don't know why you have that there in a bookshop, like turning it into an apartment, just awkward. Why not just make that a continuation of the bookshop and put some more bookshelves in there? I think that would make sense, especially since you have an apartment next to it. It's not like this doesn't come with any sort of residential area. And so I think the interior of Al's barbershop and the pool hall are, I think, in the end, superior. So this is a really tight matchup. I think, again, one was overrated, the other one was underrated. So let's head into our vote. Kiara, which one are you going to vote for?
Bookshop.
Autumn?
Bookshop.
I'm going to vote for the bookshop too. I do really like that tree in the front.
I vote for the detective's office, but it looks like I am in the minority. And as Autumn punches me in the arm for my vote, we now have one more set. Moving on into the second round of Modular Madness, it is Birch Books. We have an upset. The 14 seed takes down the 3rd seed. We'll see how far the momentum can carry the bookshop into the next round and maybe even beyond. All right, that wraps up this matchup. I hope you're enjoying this. We're having a lot of fun looking at these sets, building them, and of course, analyzing them for you all. So I hope that you are ringing that bell and subscribing so that way you get all of our notifications and you don't miss any of our matchups, especially as we move into round number 2. Remember, everyone, to always
Keep building together.